There's going to be a little bit of skipping today. So, as you all may or may not recall, Shiki woke up one day after a severe accident and woke up with strange eyes that allowed him to see lines everywhere, and it scared the shit out of him until this girl he met one day gave him a pair of glasses that helped him see normally, and explained that these eyes allow him to cut things and destroy things really easily, and that he should never use those eyes unless he absolutely has to, and that someday those eyes are going to bring strange things to his life, and it'll be a test of his character. Something along those lines. And ever since that day, he's lived a normal life because of the glasses that he was given. So, up until that point, he was living with the Arimas, who were his adopted family. He grew up as Shiki Tohno, eldest son of the Tohno family. Grew up in a mansion, but ever since the accident, he was sent to live with the Arimas, who are just like kind of live like normal people. But today is the last day that he's going to be living with the Arimas, because he's been asked out of the blue to move back into the Tohno mansion. And apparently his father, Makihisa Tohno, passed away. So, when we first got to this point, when we come to school, the last day of school before we moved to the Tohno mansion, the first time we came here to this point, to the gate, we heard a strange noise. And the first time we came here, I decided to be a responsible student and just go to homeroom and forget about the noise. And the second time we came here, we decided to be curious and take a look, and it was actually Seal. But this time, we are going to be a responsible student once again. So, let's just go to homeroom. So, all of this is going to be the same. It's from the first part where we meet Satsuki, and we meet Satsuki and Arihiko. Satsuki is the popular girl, and she talks to us sometimes, and it's kind of strange and weird. So we just get a little introduction into... Wait, what? Okay, yeah, so, like... It's just introducing us to Shiki's school life. And then we meet Seal along the way. Okay, so... I'm trying to remember what we did the first time. I think we ate lunch in class. And I think that's the first time. And then the second time we did something else. But we're going to eat lunch. So this is opening similarly to the Arcueid route. And I think, yeah, Arihiko and Satsuki come to hang out with us. And then I think Seal shows up as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is just like a whole... So she was just asking us some questions. Everybody kind of assumes that Satsuki and I are a thing. It's kind of silly. And then, the last 2 times we've played this game, Satsuki just fucking disappears. Despite initially being built up as, like, maybe one of the main characters, she just fucking vanishes. We don't know if she's dead. We don't know if she just, she's left, you know? So now Shiki is leaving school, he's going back home, explaining that his backstory, that he had a near-death experience, that he survived. Alright, I think he had a headache or something. So the first time we went back to the mansion, the second time I think we stayed in school a little longer and hung out with Seal. So this time we're going to go back to the mansion. And I think if we go back to the mansion, I think we run into Satsuki, right? Yeah. So Satsuki walks with us to our house, to our new house, the mansion. And I believe she tells us a story about how when they were little, Satsuki was part of like some type of sports club. Might have been like volleyball or something. But they got stuck in a shed during the winter and it was extremely cold. And they actually thought they were going to die. And Shiki used his ability to see the death of things to cut the line on the lock of the shed so that they could get out, and saved them. And the other girls didn't process that Shiki had done something weird with the lock, but Satsuki did. So she kind of knows that Shiki is special in some way, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe she kind of goads him into making a promise to save her again if she's ever in trouble or something like that. And Shiki's not some, like, do-gooder protagonist type who always just, like, jumps into danger or whatever. So he makes this promise, but he does so kind of reluctantly. Because he doesn't, like Satsuki that much. He doesn't feel that way about her, I think. So we're all just kind of like, you know, we're trying to recollect everything that's happening because a lot of these choices are similar choices, building up to a certain point where the story should dramatically shift this time. So after Satsuki breaks with us, we then officially finally walk to the Tohno mansion. Okay. So then we decide to remember who Akiha was, which is our little sister, who used to live with us in the mansion, and we haven't seen her, or Shiki hasn't seen her in, I say we because Shiki's the, like, the, what do you call it, audience surrogate. He's the seat that the audience sits in as the roller coaster of Tsukihime plays out in front of us. So Shiki has not seen Akiha in 8 years since the accident. So we don't know what she's like. She used to be very shy and timid and follow us around everywhere. But since leaving the Tohno household, she became the heir. So she probably was given very, very strict and harsh lessons. So there's no telling what she's going to be like from Shiki's perspective. So he goes to the mansion, knocks on the door, is greeted by Kohaku, who hurries him over to the sitting room, I think. And we are then first introduced to motherfucking Akiha. Ba 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 da. Okay, so this is a very brief introduction because it's getting close to late at night, so we get a very brief understanding that Akiha is a bit more uptight than she used to be when she was a kid. Shiki comments that Akiha is beautiful, which is a little weird, but whatever. They talk about the fact that their dad died and that Shiki wasn't made aware of it until he had to read the newspaper about it. She apologizes. Akiha tells Shiki that she actually kicked out everybody but the maids, so now it's just the 4 of them. There's 2 maids, Akiha and Shiki. So that's a little weird. Aki explains that there's going to be rules and that he's got to live a bit more strict, and there's a curfew and all that stuff. What confused me is that all these new rules and stuff are being imposed upon him, and he's living in a mansion, but apparently, like, he's still broke or whatever, because in earlier routes, I complained that he made a lot of, like, cheap, shitty choices that I'm like, you live in a mansion, dude, but apparently he actually is still technically disinherited, I think, so he doesn't have any money. So that's kind of strange. You think there'd be a little bit more of a quid pro quo between Shiki and Akiha when it comes to money, if the Tohno family is supposed to be this esteemed rich people, like, although I guess it's, you know, he does have a maid, but I don't know. So Hisui's then introduced. She is Shiki's personal maid. She's kind of emotionless to kind of she won't give him money, but if asked for something, she'd buy it. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I guess this is what? This is 1999 or 2000, so I don't know how advanced bank accounts were made. I don't know. You think they would set him up with a junior Valley Nationals, right? I don't know what they got over Japan. So, I honestly don't remember what they say in this conversation. At Matt's sized room. So he's just talking about, like, he's not sure if he recognizes this room or not. It doesn't really trigger any memories. So he's just kind of explaining the curfew and that there's just little factoids about the mansion, that there's no TV, there's no visitors, there's nobody else living here. It's just them. So let's just skip to the next choice. Okay, so the first time we went to go visit Kohaku because she had a TV, and on the TV we watched a little bit more about the serial killings that were happening, which led to the Arcueid route. The second time we stayed in our room, and I think that might have been the first time we read the book that ended up being a manifestation of Roa possessing us, or setting up the possession that would take place later in the seal route. So this time, fucking finally, we are gonna go to the sitting room and we're gonna talk with the best girl. Akiha, let's go. Alright. It finally begins. Ladies and gentlemen, the Akiha route. When I get to the sitting room, Akiha is relaxing there alone. There's no sign of Kohaku-san or Hisui. There are 2 teacups on the table, and Akiha is using one of them. Oh, do you drink tea? Do you drink tea after meals too, Nissan? No, nothing like that. I just thought I'd come and talk to you. My expression tells her, I'll go away if I'm bothering you. Then please sit down. Is tea all right for you? Sure. I'll have anything that's nice. I actually prefer Japanese tea, but I'll keep that bit of selfishness to myself. Akiha takes the teapot and pours transparent red tea into another teacup. Thank you. I sit on the sofa and raise the teacup to my mouth. Before my eyes is the cool and collected Akiha, and it makes me a bit uneasy. I came to talk to her, but to be honest, I really don't know what to say now that she's in front of me. Nissan? You're very quiet. Didn't you come to talk to me? Akiha stares. The atmosphere is not so much that of a younger sister, but more like that of an unfamiliar young lady. It's not one which I can speak freely. Well, I was just wondering, what have you been doing for the past 8 years? It goes without saying. With Nissan not around, Father's attention turned solely to me. Akiha glares in complaint. It seems that the last 8 years are a taboo subject. And what about you? What have you been doing for 8 years? I sent many letters, but I didn't receive a single reply. Ugh. I choke involuntarily. Certainly, Aki has sent many Really? Oh, wow. I thought they were gonna say that, like, they never showed up or something. He really didn't respond to any letters? What a fucking dick. Worst protagonist. Certainly, Aki has sent many letters. But I never replied. I was a poor correspondent, but at the bottom of my heart I wanted to sever all links with the Tohno mansion, and that made me reluctant to write to Akiha. Well, don't worry about the letters. Even if you had answered, I'm sure Father would never have allowed the replies into the house. Okay, that's what I figured. More importantly, how do you feel returning to the mansion for the first time in 8 years? It has changed very little, though there was some restoration work done. In spite of Akiha's words, the mansion still feels completely unknown to me. 8 years ago, I was just a child. Even if I remember the mansion a little, I feel like I'm in someone else's house, and it's very unsettling. Nissan? No. I was just lost in thought for a moment. You say this mansion's changed very little, but it's pretty unsettling for me. Though this sitting room and the lobby are kind of familiar, I can't really remember the corridor, nor my room. Give me just a second. Really? I guess 8 years is a long time. I guess that's it. It's like half my life so far. I can't really expect to have a clear memory. I can't really expect to have clear memories. Well, it's been 8 years, so it doesn't feel right, but I think I'll get used to it. I'll be thankful if you overlook my poor manners for a while. Please don't be ridiculous. I can hardly look any more leniently upon Nissan's manners than I do already. That was close. I almost sprayed the tea I was drinking. At supper, Akiha's look sent me At supper, Akiha's look sent me into a cold sweat after all I did was use the wrong knife. I see. You were being lenient back then. Yes. I'm making concessions appropriate to your abilities. Nissan has been brought up by the Arimas, after all. As Aunt Keiko comes from a branch family, a certain amount of laissez-faire was permitted, and you were spoiled, Nissan. The result is the supper we had a while ago. Well, it can't be helped, can it? We never really thought I'd be returning here. Is that so? You almost sound like you didn't want to return, Nissan. Don't be stupid, it's not like that. I may have had my doubts, but I couldn't just leave you alone here, could I? What kind of brother would I be then? Yes, that's the reason I returned. If it weren't for Akiha, I would never have returned. Since I heard nothing for almost 8 years, I wondered whether you were alright on your own. I came back to the mansion because I was worried about you. Looking a little off to the side, I put my honest feelings into words. Well then, But I guess I was just worrying over nothing. In the past 8 years, you seem to have grown strong. I'm relieved, but a little disappointed. No, a bit is saying too little. Since I only had the image of the calm Akiha back when she was small, the sharp Akiha right now seems like a different person. Really? I'm sorry I didn't meet Nissan's expectations. Akiha's eyes are scary. Crap. I think I may have said too much again. Well then, Nissan, how was life at the Arima residence? Akiha asks, still with the frightening expression. I feel like I'm under terrible pressure, even though I'm only talking to my younger sister. Nissan, did you hear what I said? I heard. Life at the Arimas, right? It was normal. There was no real problems. It seemed it was more suited for me living there, too. That's not what I meant. How was your health? I've heard you collapsed a lot from your chronic anemia. Yeah. I did for about a year after I left the hospital, but I'm okay now. I only have problems occasionally, about once a month. I'm certainly not frail enough to be worried about. Bluffing, I strike my chest with its scar. Akiha nods in serious assent. But Nissan, you've also started wearing glasses. After going to the hospital, did your eyesight fail also? I see. Akiha doesn't know I wear glasses or why I wear them. I can't just explain the lines along which things break, or that they don't appear when I wear these glasses. Well, it's nothing. My eyes became a little strange after the accident. But it's not like my eyesight's gone bad, so it's not really a serious problem. Really, I was surprised when I saw you a while ago. I didn't know you had started wearing glasses, Nissan. Really? You seemed pretty calm back then. Of course. I was meeting you for the first time in 8 years. I couldn't let you see me acting strange. Akiha's brow creases sullenly. Akiha-sama? The bath is ready. What should I do? Really? Thank you, Kohaku. I'll go soon, so go ahead. Is that all right? After all, you're relaxing with Shiki-sama. Shiki-sama might run away, but the bath won't. Please relax a little longer. It's fine. We weren't talking about anything important anyways. Akiha stands and walks past Kohaku-san into the lobby. Kohaku-san follows Akiha. Left alone in the sitting room, I finish the tea. Akiha and Kohaku-san seem to be heading to the bath, so I guess I'll go back to my room. Hang on. Akiha and Kohaku-san aren't going to take a bath together, are they? No, I bet they are. Then maybe Kohaku-san would be washing her back? Of course, with another girl, that's no problem, but... What the fuck is happening? Well, you are free to imagine whatever you wish, Nissan, but... Akiha returns with amazing timing. Don't force Hisui to do stupid things. Unlike Kohaku, she doesn't really get jokes. Akiha's looks accusing... Akiha's looks accusingly as if she sees my thoughts. Akiha looks accusingly as if she sees my thoughts. I'm surprised. Maybe this mansion has some listening devices. Wait, what are you doing back here? Weren't you taking a bath with Kohaku-san? I forgot to tell you something about the bath. Nissan, the large bathroom we used a long time ago isn't used anymore. It would be too much for Hisui and Kohaku to take care of, so it has been closed up. Large bathroom? Was there such a place? I sputter a bit. Unable to remember, I make a doubtful face. Akiha's brows knit terribly. The bath in the courtyard. You don't even remember that? Well, now that she mentions it, I guess there was such a thing. But this is a European-style mansion. Isn't such a thing a little out of place? Father half liked the Japanese style of architecture. That is why the detached building is a Japanese style as well. Anyway, if you want to have a bath, please use your own. The second bathroom behind the lobby is yours, Nissan. With that, Akiha leaves. Alright. With Akiha gone, there's no point in staying in the sitting room. I'll have a bath too, and return to my room. Excuse me. Okay. When I return to my room, my bed has been made. I guess Hisui did it while I was gone. I'm glad she did, but it's really more than I deserve. I scratch my cheek. Then, are you there, Shiki-sama? I can hear Hisui's voice, along with a knock at the door. Yeah, I'm here. Come in. Excuse me. Good evening. Thanks for making my bed, Hisui. Hisui quietly nods in acceptance. Just as I thought. I'm not used to this. To answer any questions you may have. Okay, so this is all stuff that we've seen already. So, Hisui just further explains more rules about the mansion and the curfew. And Shiki tries to establish a friendly rapport with Hisui and try to get her to talk more formally with him, but she's pretty apprehensive about it. She's kind of shy and apprehensive and doesn't like being touched. Shiki just wanted to ask her something and, like, grabbed her shoulder. She, like, freaked out a little bit. But she's also not a very, like, assertive person, so she's, like, constantly apologizing and stuff. It is bothersome. Must wait. She's an upper class lady. So he's just learning more about Akiha from Hisui, that she takes violin lessons, that she goes to another school, that she has to travel by car or limousine or whatever. Oh, interesting. So this part... Oh. So this is interesting. So, the first 2 times we did this, at least I think so, this was not an available choice. We absolutely had to go check it out. And then we meet Nervensker for the first time. Actually, I realized the other day that I've been reading his name wrong. It's actually Nervensker, if we were to pronounce his name the way it's written. I know everybody says Nero, but that's stupid. But I've been reading it wrong this entire time. It's actually Nervensker. But I'm probably just going to keep saving Nervensker because that sounds... almost kind of sounds like a name. Alright, whereas Nervensker is a little... that's just hard to pronounce. It's hard to get mad at somebody named Nervensker, you know? Nervensker. Yeah, I guess that could kind of work. I don't know. Anyway, I believe what we are supposed to do is just go to sleep and ignore Nervensker. The howling continues. There's no way I can sleep like this. I can't sleep, but that's just normal. I'm sleepy, so I'll pass. Pulling the sheets over me, I stretch out on the bed. I can just think of the howling as the sound of something mundane as cars driving by on the street. Today's been a very long day. I'm mentally tired from eating dinner in this unfamiliar mansion and my conversations with Akiha and everyone else. Damn Hebrew? What? After all that, the howling is just background noise. I close my eyes and gently fall asleep. I think I just heard something. Half awake, I look at the clock. It's just past 2. It's been about 2 hours since I heard the dogs howling. The dogs howling has already stopped. The mansion is so quiet. I can hear the clock ticking in the silence. I hear it again. Inside the mansion. From the lobby? Could it be a burglar? It's not impossible. The mansion's contents are outrageously valuable. On top of that, with no one here now except Kohaku-san, Hisui, Akiha, and myself, it's very insecure. Getting out of bed, I slip out of the room quietly. Nero's name is spelt in Hebrew. Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just a bunch of nonsense letters. If it's a burglar, Akiha and everyone will be in danger, so I can't let this one go. I'll just look down from... Nero's name is spelt in Hebrew. Oh, okay. So in Hebrew, it's pronounced Nero? Oh. I didn't realize I was being anti-Semitic the whole time. I feel bad. Maybe I will say Nero from now on. Okay, I apologize. I didn't mean it. Aki and everyone will be dangerous. I can't let this one go. I'll just look down from the 2nd floor into the lobby. That should be safe enough. There's nothing wrong there. No. Someone's there. The figure that enters from the entrance and crosses the lobby with wobbling, uncertain steps is... Akiha? She's not going to her room on the 2nd floor, but to the 1st floor of the west wing. The only things there are Kohaku-san's room and my old man's room. What is she doing at this time of night? I can murmur all I want, but I won't be getting any answers. After gazing at the lobby for a while, I decide to return to my room. Well, she probably had something to do, or went to see Kohaku-san. I feel bad about sneaking around and watching her, and I don't want to ask her just about... And I don't want to just ask her about everything she does. Sleep. There's school tomorrow. I bury myself in bed and close my eyes. My thoughts keep returning over and over to Akiha's hollow-eyed figure in the lobby, and how something seemed wrong. Ew. That was kind of creepy. Fuck. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. The garden, a deep forest, the house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Every day was fun. Not one thought about ever growing up, and we believed that days and nights would always be the same. It was just a childhood spent playing like puppies. We got along wonderfully, and we were the best of playmates. Whenever I turned back, Akiha would be there, waving her hands and hiding shyly. Yes, always the same. Back then, the whole mansion was like a giant playground. Excuse me for a second. The garden, a deep forest. The house, a tall castle. We played in our own little world, which would take days to explore. Good morning. I hear an unfamiliar voice. The dream disappears, and all that remains is the feeling of my languid, waking body. It is morning. Time to wake up, Shiki-sama. An unfamiliar voice greets me. Stop calling me Shiki-sama already. I told you yesterday. It sends chills down my back. I wake up. Hisui stands far from the bed, like a statue. Where am I? Good morning, Shiki-sama. A girl in a maid uniform bows. Yeah, I came home. Right. I push myself up and look around the room. Good morning, Hisui. Thanks for coming to wake me. There's no need to thank me. It is my duty to come and wake you, Shiki-sama. Hisui answers indifferently, completely expressionless. Really? Okay, then. Even in an unfavorable light, I think Hisui's features are beautiful. Alright, dude, like... He says this about every girl, like... It should be wonderful for such a girl to wake me every morning, but as Hisui never smiles, I don't feel that happy about it. What a shame. If Hisui only had half of Kohaku's brightness, she would really be cute. Do you need something? Realizing I'm looking at her, Hisui stares straight back at me. No, nothing at all. Waking up with you there makes me feel like I'm really at the Tohno mansion. Now then, getting off the bed, I stretch out both arms. Shiki-sama, there is no time. From the mansion to your school is a 30-minute trip. This leaves only 20 minutes for breakfast. It's already 7 o'clock? I gasp in amazement, looking at the clock. My repeated awakenings last night must have messed up my sleep pattern. I know what that's like, Jesus Christ. Your uniform is folded and awaits you over there. Please come to the sitting room after you've changed. Damn it. If you're gonna wake me up earlier. Muttering selfishly to myself, I reach for the uniform. It's folded neatly, and the shirt has even been ironed. Passing my wrists through the sleeves feels good. It's that fresh, brand new feeling. Akiha and Kohaku-san are relaxing in the sitting room. Akiha is wearing the uniform of the Asagami Ladies' Academy, a famous school for young girls. They're drinking tea together gracefully, as if breakfast ended a long time ago. So... I think we greeted Akiha last time too, but we're gonna do it again because this is her route. Hey, good morning, Akiha. Good morning, Nissan. Sorry. I just love when she says that. I don't know why. Good morning, Shiki-san. Breakfast is ready in the dining hall. Please eat up. In contrast to Akiha, Kohaku-san greets me with a cheerful smile. Thank you very much. It looks like you're having your after-meal tea. Have you already finished breakfast, Akiha? Of course. I don't care when you get up, Nissan, but please at least make some time for breakfast. Having breakfast after 7 is a sign of sloppiness. I think having breakfast after 7 is pretty normal. What time do you get up, Akiha? I get up at 5 in the morning. What about it? Wow. I don't know why she gets up so early, but it was so perfect a time to get up that I have no room to retort. Besides, your school is 30 minutes from here on foot, isn't it? Please don't be late to school. Please don't be so late to a school. Fuck me. Please don't be late to a school that's so close by. It'd be an embarrassment. Ugh. Akiha's words are filled with thorns that stab at me. But as it's the truth, there's no opening for a counter-argument. Akiha-sama? It's almost time to leave. Is this alright? I know. Sheesh. Don't be so worried over stuff like this on the first day. Muttering some complaints, Akiha stands up. Well, I must say goodbye. Nissan, you should apply yourself to your studies today. Akiha leaves the sitting room. Kohaku-san follows, seeing her off. Apply myself to my studies. She's quite ceremonious about trivial things in an old-fashioned kind of way. I guess it's because she's been disciplined under our old man for the last 8 years. Well, I'd have gone to school even if she hadn't said anything. I scratched my cheek. There was something about Akiha's face as she left. Because of it, I paid no attention to all of her various admonishings this morning. Of course. I clapped my hands together. For some reason, Akiha's face just then seemed to resemble her face from long ago. After eating the breakfast Kohaku-san prepared, I exit into the lobby. Hisui was waiting there with my bag. Shiki-sama, have you enough time? Yeah. It should only be 20 minutes if I run. It's only 7:30, so I should be fine even if I take the long way. Seeming satisfied with this answer, Hisui bows her head in assent. Then allow me to see you out. Yeah, thank you. I still feel terribly awkward about having my own servant. Oh, Shiki-san, please wait just a moment. With pattering footsteps, Kohaku-san runs down the second floor. Hisui steps back and falls silent as Kohaku-san approaches. Huh? Weren't you with Akiha? Lady Akiha goes to school by car. Since I had something to give you this morning, I stayed behind. I think this is the scene where Shiki gets the knife, right? I've seen this before. Apparently it was left... Yeah, so like, Shiki's dad left him a knife. And it's the knife that he ends up using to fight vampires and stuff. So he still gets it in this route. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Hisui is the one that exclaims that it's a very well-crafted blade or something. So, I forgot about... Yeah, there's something interesting about Hisui knowing a thing or two about blade work or something. So that's kind of interesting. What time shall I expect your return? Actually... Can I do this? Nice. Okay. I think this is all the same. Yeah, this is all the same. Okay. So yeah, this is all the same shit. He mentions that Yumizuka Satsuki is not around this time. So my pace quickens as I hurry toward the classroom. I'm trying to remember if he commented on her disappearance before. Maybe that is different. Slowly I begin to see some people in school uniforms intermingled with the crowd. This is where the road to school begins. Where's Yumizuka-san? Well, I'm not going to be that lucky. I recall the smiling face of the classmate who departed here yesterday, saying, "My house is this way." As I think of Yumizuka Satsuki in the classroom, my pace quickens a little, and I hurry toward the classroom. Maybe he does like her a little bit. I leave the residential area and reach the crossroads. The gates will be closed in about 10 minutes. I start to run across the asphalt. I made it. It seems like it took 20 minutes rather than 30 minutes from the mansion. I'll need to leave around 7 if I want to go slowly, since I ran several times on the way. I think he brings it up if you walk home with her. It's probably the case. When I get to the classroom, I notice the air is buzzing. Although the classroom in the morning is always noisy, there's something different about the noise today. I walk to my desk by the window. Arihiko is waiting there sullenly. Arihiko, did something happen? Don't know. It's nothing big. There's a rumor that someone in class ran away from home. Oh, that's what all the fuss is then. I sit down at my desk with a sigh. Wait. That might be like a gag moment, like, oh, that's all it is? What do you mean that's all it is? I don't, okay. What do you mean nothing big? Who ran away? Who? How should I know? But we'll know when homeroom starts. Whoever's seat is vacant, they must be the one who ran away from home. Ah, that's true. It's true, but Arihiko's attitude seems a little dry. If one of our classmates really has run away from home, I think it's a bit much to just ignore it as someone else's problem. Arihiko, aren't you being a little insensitive? One of our classmates ran away from home. Aren't you worried? Eh? You're the only one who's seriously... You're the only one who's seriously worried, dumbass. Everyone's talking about it because it's an interesting thing to talk about. It's not as if you or I had run away from home. It's not as if you or I had run away from home? Okay. It's not as if you or I ran away from home, so there's no need to worry, is there? Now I remember. This guy's cold like that to everyone except his friends. I thought he was friends with Satsuki. Well, I guess maybe not necessarily. Though, I guess I'm a bit worried. Running away from home at a time like this. They'd have to be really brave or really... a time like this? What kind of time? Oh, he doesn't know that it's Satsuki yet. What kind of time is that? I told you yesterday, Tohno. There's a serial killer going around on the streets right now. I don't know who ran away from home, but they'd have no excuse if they got attacked by him while living on the streets. Can't be. There's no way that'd happen. Tohno, you should watch TV more. There've been 8 victims already, and he doesn't discriminate. You'd better think again if you think you're safe. The town's empty at night nowadays. The only people who go out are drunkards and policemen, which is why it's so boring. Arihiko's voice is very serious. Hearing it, I begin to feel uneasy. Oh, Kunifuji's here. It's homeroom at last. Arihiko returns to his seat. After a while, everyone is seated. So, now that we've made it this far, let's just make a save. And we'll start from the beginning. Okay. Only one seat is empty. There's no mistaking it. The desk of Yumizuka Satsuki is empty. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. Yumizuka said that when we parted yesterday. I don't know what happened at home, but I can't see her making that smiling face before running away. Yumizuka's absent. Yumizuka Satsuki is merely treated as absent as attendance is taken. As if nothing is amiss, homeroom proceeds. I know Yumizuka was smiling yesterday. I didn't think that she could make such a face and say bye-bye and then run away from home. Sensei! What is it, Tohno? A question? Yes. Is it true that a student in our class has run away from home? Instantly, the air in the classroom solidifies. He frowns, then, with a difficult expression, bows his head in assent. Yes, that's what we've heard from Yumizuka Satsuki's parents. Yumizuka didn't come home last night, but they've been searching, and I'm sure they've already found her. Saying so, he departs. The classroom becomes noisy again. I have a bad feeling about this. It's really heavy. A terrible feeling, as if my body is tied down to this chair. I still feel down even when lunchtime arrives. While the news of Yumizuka Satsuki running away from home was shocking, it seems it wasn't a topic that could last forever. The classroom is just like always, and it seemed that I'm the only one troubled by our absent classmate. Tohno, let's go get lunch. That's okay. I don't really feel like it. Huh? I guess it can't be helped. Don't be troubled with other people's problems too much. Other people's problems, huh? Arihiko's words are too close to the truth. Huh? You're not with Inui-kun today? Senpai, what are you doing in our classroom? Well, I thought I'd have lunch with you guys. Tohno-kun, aren't you going to eat something? Senpai sits back down on the desk, looking at me anxiously. Nah, I just don't seem to have any appetite today. Oh, are you not feeling well? Something like that. Don't worry about me. You can go on to the dining hall. Arihiko's probably already there. Oh, you're not energetic at all. I don't know what happened, but if you don't eat lunch, you'll just feel even worse. That's true. But since I'm not hungry, there's not a lot I can do. Alright, I'll take you somewhere special. It's really a secret, but you're special, Tohno-kun. With that, she grabs my arm and pulls me out of the chair. Seal Senpai takes me to an unused classroom in the very corner of the school building. Huh? This is a Japanese-style room, isn't it? That's right. It's very relaxing since no one else is here. Well, that's true, but isn't this place locked, Senpai? Yes. It's usually only open to members of the tea ceremony club, so normal students can't get in. Saying so, she takes a key out of her pocket. Oh, are you in the tea ceremony club, Senpai? Yes. Well, actually, I'm the only member. Excuse me. With a laugh, Senpai goes into the Japanese-style room. Somebody's cooking something. That's so annoying. Inside of the room feels special, as if it isn't part of the school. The sensation of the tatami and the sunlight through the window feels very relaxing. As I said earlier, I'm the only member of the tea club. Thanks to that, I can use this place freely during lunchtime and after class. Here. Laughing, Senpai lays out cushions. I'll make some tea now, so please wait right there, Tohno-kun. Senpai heads towards the sink to prepare the tea. There's no point in standing up, so I do as I'm told and sit down on the cushion. Perhaps it was the magic of the Japanese-style room. That chaotic maelstrom that had been raging in my chest calms down, and now I can finally begin to think calmly about what has happened with Yumizuka. Thanks for waiting. Here you are. Now, let's have some lunch. Actually, I have some things to ask you, so it's just as well we're having lunch here. You have something to talk to me about? Puzzled, I drink the tea I'm offered. As I'm in the Japanese-style room, my posture reflexively straightened, and my mind has become tranquil. Although I had no connection to it, the Arima family heads a tea ceremony school. Perhaps it was because I had been raised in that kind of environment that I feel more at ease in a Japanese-style room than a Western-style one. Senpai looks at me with a troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit worried. Huh? I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all this, Tohno-kun. Really? Well, my family's a strict one, so I'm used to these kinds of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about earlier. What we were talking about earlier? You mean about my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. If you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting. I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am, Senpai laughs. Alright then. Let's continue from before. Oh, that's her talking. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asks, full of curiosity. Conversation... Okay, so this, I think, is all the same as the seal route conversation when we first went to the tea ceremony room. So he's just explaining to Seal his history and his relationship with the Tohnos and the Arimas, and why he ended up having to move back to the mansion and why he left in the first place and all that stuff. And just kind of explaining why he would always go on vacations with Arihiko instead of with his with the Arima family, because he didn't want to put them off. He felt guilty for having to be taken care of by them. And he also just kind of felt like he didn't really belong. See, it looks like all of this stuff is troubling you. Okay, so maybe this will be different. So, Tohno-kun, is anything troubling you right now? Why that all of a sudden? I don't have any worries in particular. Then I suppose the reason you aren't eating much must be because of your health? Senpai stares at me. Somehow her gaze feels very, penetrating. It feels difficult to remain silent under a gaze like that. I don't have any worries, but... Senpai, what do you think of the recent killings? I can't help but ask. The stories about my classmate, who hasn't returned home, won't leave my mind. Killings? Oh, you mean that business about the vampires? Yes. There's already been 8 victims, right? I haven't caught the news lately, so I'm not too sure about this subject. Do you know anything, Senpai? Well, I know about as much as anyone else does, but no, not the details. It's just that the word vampire sends chills down my spine. Oh, you mean how it seems the victims had their blood drained? Strange, isn't it? I wonder what it could mean. Who knows? It's impossible to know how such people think. But I wonder why they nicknamed him the Vampire. What an odd question. Well, isn't it because the blood was drained from their bodies? It'd only be natural to call them vampires, wouldn't it? Do you know the folklore about vampires, Tohno-kun? Suddenly breaking into a smile, she asks an even stranger question. Vampire folklore? You mean how people have their blood sucked by vampires and become vampires themselves? Yes. If that was true, there shouldn't be any bodies left, right?
Supposing some vampire was the killer, there'd be no bodies, Tohno-kun.
I see. That's true, but it's just a nickname, isn't it? Do you really believe in vampires, Senpai?
Not at all. After all, the fact that the bodies are there show that it's not a vampire, right?
Smiling, Senpai gives a reply that seems slightly off the point.
But couldn't you also think of it this way? Maybe the victims whose bodies have been found died because they couldn't become vampires. Perhaps there are those who can be turned, and those who can't. The people who can become vampires won't have their corpses found, even if they were attacked by vampires. Because even now, they're still alive, out there somewhere. But those who can't become vampires just die, so their bodies wind up being found.
Well, that's... Senpai's still smiling. I know it's only a joke, but I'm having difficulty laughing it off.
Oh, I'm just joking. It'd be like some kind of horror story if that were really true. I don't like scary stories, so please don't ask me things like that.
What? It looked to me like you were really getting into it, Senpai.
Yes, I don't like scary stories, but I do like scaring you, Tohno-kun.
Did I do something to make her bear a grudge against me?
But, all jokes aside, Tohno-kun, lately the streets have become dangerous at night. You mustn't go out, even though you're an energetic young man.
Senpai gives me a warning that sounds like a joke. I can't tell how serious she is. Lunch break ends and 5th period starts. The lesson on classics goes in one ear and out the other. Well, my house is this way. Bye-bye. See you at school tomorrow. That's what Yumizuka said. She wouldn't say that and just run away from home. I have a bad feeling about this. The killer who wanders around the town at night. It's dangerous to go out at night. The word Senpai said. Perhaps it was because of that red imagery surrounding us when we parted. Suddenly, a vision of Yumizuka Satsuki soaked in red blood appears before my eyes. It happens suddenly. My vision goes white, and my sense of balance reels. My field of view lurches. Something lurks in the back of my head, and my consciousness feels heavy. This is bad. I know this feeling. Sudden dizziness prior to an anemic attack. The blood accumulated in the brain's blood vessels become a black lump, making my head sway, and my vision will go pitch black. It feels as if the blackness is pushing its way out of my brain and into my eyeballs. This is bad. I haven't been collapsing during classes lately. Red. Is it because Yumizuka's blood-red image is too fresh in my mind? My vision distorts. As darkness envelops it, I somehow grab onto my desk. But it's useless. There's no strength in my fingers. I fall towards the floor. As I do, I remember her words. Tohno-kun, help me when I'm in a pinch, okay? I told you that's impossible. Whatever you may think of me, I'm not Superman.
Sorry for dragging you along with me, Arihiko.
Yeah. I'm used to you collapsing without warning like that. Honestly, sleeping in the infirmary up to the last minute? Just who do you think you are? You should have woken me up. There's nothing conscientious about letting me sleep until they lock us up in the building. Shut up! You think I'm gonna wake up a sick person? You just collapse again. Come on, we need to get back. It's already 7, you know. Arihiko walks down the corridor. After that, I collapsed from anemia and was left to sleep in the infirmary. Time passed until school lockup time at 6:30, when I was awoken by Arihiko's punch. And so, we came to be walking along this deserted corridor. Hey, come on, Tohno. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm coming. I shake my still woozy head and follow Arihiko. Alright, you can go home by yourself from here. See you at school tomorrow. Thanks. Sorry as always, Arihiko. Don't worry, pay me back in the double in the future. Arihiko's answer isn't exactly in proper Japanese. Smiling wryly to myself, I decide to head back to my own house. I reach the intersection. It's still 7 in the evening, but there's no one around. I guess because of the killer, fewer people go out at night. The only figure I can see now is the back of a woman far away. A blonde. The distant woman seems to be a foreigner. Even from far away, I can see her golden hair rippling as she walks. It draws my eyes after her. Even though I only see her from behind, I can tell she's beautiful. Thump. Suddenly, my heart pounds loudly. My throat becomes inexplicably dry and parched. I break out in a cold sweat. My head aches. It's not like the anemia earlier.
Oh, excuse me. Jesus Christ.
Rather than fading, my consciousness becomes sharper. I gasp. That back. Watching that woman's golden hair, my head hurts terribly. My thoughts feel like they're melting into a haze. I will follow behind her, and then... What am I going to do after that? The woman disappears into a group of apartments in the shopping district. I have to follow. I don't know why, but I think that. My legs move on toward the apartments. But before that... Only for an instant, out of the corner of my eye, I see the figure of Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka-san! My head becomes clear. Yumizuka. It was only for an instant, but without a doubt, that was Yumizuka. Was she going towards town? What's she doing out at a time like this? I was so mad. I didn't care if she disappeared or if she ran away from home. It's too dangerous for a girl to walk around town at night alone. Yumizuka walks through the crowded town. She's so far away. I'm not certain. But even if I've mistaken her, I decide to run after her and tell her to stop. Wait, Yumizuka-san! I shout, chasing after her. Yumizuka glances back, as if she heard my voice. That face. There's no confusing it. The girl walking ahead of me is unmistakably Yumizuka Satsuki, and the expression on her face wasn't frightening. But I felt a chill run down my spine. Thump. My heart beats quickly. The back of my head becomes heavy, and my throat burns. An ache assaults my head, just as it did with the blonde woman earlier. What is this? It's weird. The inside of my body is burning. I feel dizzy, as if I'm in the grip of a terrible fever. In that moment, Yumizuka begins to walk again. Wait, Yumizuka-san! I call out, running. Yumizuka walks on, not turning. Can't you hear me? Yumizuka! I urge my hot body onwards. But... Excuse me, hold on. No matter how much I try, I can't catch her. No matter how fast I run, I can't catch up to her, even as she walks. Something is... strange.
I know that, but I can't tell what it is. Right now, all I can do is follow Yumizuka Satsuki. And then, I lose sight of her. Yumizuka Satsuki, whom I've been chasing without success, is nowhere to be seen. Shit! What the hell's going on? I stop, catching my breath. My chest heaves deeply. Though I hadn't realized it until now, I must have been running for a long time. What time is it? Resting my hands on my knee, I glance up at a nearby store window. It's already midnight. Can't be. I couldn't have been running for that long. It's hard to believe, but the clock is correct. Looking around, most of the shopping district is closed. I should go back. Even though I'm worried about Yumizuka, I feel like I won't be able to find her anymore. I chased her for almost 4 hours, calling her name all this time, but she did not even respond. What was she thinking? With a big sigh, I decide to head back to the mansion. There's no one around. The shopping district still had some people, but the way back to the mansion should be completely empty. The words serial killer run through my mind. Midnight. Walking through town alone. I might be an easy prey for such an attacker. A sound. Somewhere behind a building, there's a sound. I think it's the sound of someone falling. The back alley? The noise came only once. An eerie silence surrounds me. I have a bad feeling about this. Did someone collapse in the back alley? Did the wind just knock something over? Whatever it was, I probably shouldn't get involved. Give me just a second. I keep getting messages. I thought maybe... Okay. Whatever it was, I probably shouldn't get involved. But... is it because I was looking for Yumizuka a while ago? I feel like she's there for some reason. What should I do? There's no one around. The only help I can rely on is this knife Kohaku-san handed me this morning. I have to imagine we're gonna go and look, right? We have to. Yeah. Got to. I can't ignore my feelings. With a killer skulking around town at night looking for victims, I shouldn't be investigating suspicious sounds in alleyways. But I still remember Yumizuka's smiling face from yesterday. There's no reason for Yumizuka to be there. But if she is, she might need my help. I'll never forgive myself if I just ignore this. All right. Putting my hand in my pocket, there's a cold touch of iron. Even though I don't intend to use it, it's comforting to know that I'm not unarmed. And if it comes to it, I have my eyes, too. Sensei told me not to use them recklessly, but she'll find it acceptable if I use it against a killer. The sound. It came from here. Preparing myself, I step into the alley. Thump. My heart pounds. The back alley is quiet. The noise came from the open area at the far end. Thump. The back of my head hurts. As if convulsing under the utmost strain. My racked spine hurts, as if it's about to rip itself out of my body. Thump. Why is it? I can't think, yet my instincts shout at me. Thump. Don't go. Don't go any further. If you do, you won't be able to turn back. Thump. But it's already too late. I step out of the back alley and into the open space. That weak voice is all I can get out. The back alley is a single sheet of crimson. Limbs are strewn amongst the garbage and rubble. Not the limbs of dogs or cats or the like. They're human limbs. Blood dripping from fresh meat and bone. The ground and the walls are painted with red blood. A heavy scent fills my nostrils. thick, like a red fog permeating my body, the choking smell of blood. A face. A face. A face. A face on a severed head, rolling around with an expression of agony. A face shriveled up like a mummy, split in halves. A face with both eyes gouged out, so distorted, I can't even tell if it used to be a man or a woman. Unable to make a sound, I merely gaze speechless at the corpses. No, they can't even be called human bodies anymore. Even a badly made sculpture looks better than this. There are 4 bodies. They roll around like scraps of leftover food. I gape in shock at the sea of bodies. The back of my head throbs. My throat is parched, and my breath burns like fire. My fingertips quiver, and my mouth distorts. What is this? What is this world before my eyes? Red. Yes, before my eyes, everything is that terrible color. But I merely stand. No screaming, no fear. Like the scene of an accident in a movie, I only stare at the back alley. Undoubtedly, this is how my mind is protecting itself. Otherwise, I would have gone mad. A corpse against the wall moves. No, that's wrong. It's not a corpse. It's not like the scrapped hands and feet. It's a living human being, with limbs attached. I see something out of place. In this ghoulish spectacle, the response to seeing someone alive is more of astonishment than happiness. But if he's alive, I have to help him. Hello? With my mind still paralyzed, I step towards the living figure. Pulling myself up from the sea, it raises its face toward me. A face like a dried-out skull. I leap back reflexively, but the skull moves faster than I do. With a voice crying out, Sorry, he jumps out at me. Hugh, Hugh? What would Hugh be? I don't know. I'll come up with something. A hideous voice right next to me. Looking down, there's a large hole in the skull's throat, preventing him from speaking correctly. The dried up face. The dried up arm reaching for me. In the throat of this bag of bones, vocal cords vibrate in accord with the ghastly voice. Desperately, I try to tear him off me, but he merely raises that ghastly voice and will not get off. Rip. His fingers pierce my shoulder. Ah! My body aches from pain. The fingers were like a sharp needle. It shreds my skin mercilessly, scooping out nerves and flesh as it goes. Ah! The pain is so great that I can say nothing else. Though I try to tear him off me screaming, he's too strong. Whatever I do, he does not move. With a creak, the skull's jaw opens. The mouth opens wide with enough to rip off my shoulder with a single bite, and he approaches my face as if saying, I don't want to die, somebody save me. Stop! I can't even say stop. The guy made only of skin and bones tries to bite my head, and suddenly he collapses. The awesome power vanishes. The bag of bones in a person's form crumbles to the ground and disappears. Softly, like a bad dream, it turns to ash and blows away. What the hell is this? Pain runs through my shoulder. Ah! My own blood flows from my back. The pain is real, so this must be real. A terrible nightmare. But it can't be a nightmare because it's not a dream. Tohno-kun, it'll be dangerous if you stay there. I turned towards the voice behind me. At the mouth of the valley where I came from, I see Yumizuka Satsuki. Okay, I thought it was Seal. Yumizuka? Good evening. Fancy meeting you at a place like this, huh? As if we had merely bumped into each other in the mall, Yumizuka greets me lightheartedly. Yumizuka, what are you doing out at a time like this? Oh, just going out for a walk. But what's Tohno-kun doing? Killing so many people like this is bad, right? Yumizuka says this with a light smile. Killing so many people? Huh? I look around me, and I remember the tragic scene I'm surrounded by. In this sea of blood, Tohno-shiki stands aghast like a murderer. No! This wasn't me! Oh, of course it was. Everyone's dead and Tohno-kun's alive, so obviously Tohno-kun must have killed them. No way! It just attacked me. I pointed at the monster that attacked me moments ago, but nothing's there. Even the ashes of the bones have been blown away by the wind. I swallow my breath. Yumizuka is chuckling. It's not... It wasn't me. My head is paralyzed and can only manage broken language. I understand. I can think clearly, but I can't put my thoughts into words. For example, why is Yumizuka at a place like this after running away from home? For example, why is Yumizuka laughing in the face of this tragic scene? Yumizuka-san, Yeah, I know. You just interrupted someone's meal. I'm sorry for sounding mean. You always act against my feelings, so I'm always acting like this to you. Yumizuka is still laughing. It's so inappropriate for this scene, I feel a chill. Yumizuka doesn't move from the entrance of the alley. Her arms are positioned strangely, as if she's hiding something behind her back. And, looking closer, there's spots of something red on her sleeve. Yumizuka, what is it? Your face looks scary, Tohno-kun. She laughs again. No. Somehow, this girl cannot be Yumizuka Satsuki. Yumizuka, why are you hiding your hands like that? Have I been found out? I guess you're too observant to miss that, huh? I've always liked that about you, Shiki-kun. After emphasizing the Shiki-kun, she brings her hands out. Both hands are dyed crimson. Not yet dry. The blood drips off of them in red droplets. And proudly, Yumizuka Satsuki is smiling. Yumizuka, your hands. Yeah, I killed those people. What? Oh, but it's okay. I didn't kill them because I hated them. I just needed their blood to live, so I had to kill them. What is this? I don't really understand what Yumizuka's saying. You really killed them, Yumizuka? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you it's a lie, right? Or do you think it's impossible for a girl like me to do such a thing? Her voice laughs softly. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. But she's definitely not telling a lie. This tragic scene, it's all Yumizuka's doing. Why? Such a terrible thing. It's not terrible. Like I said, I didn't kill them because I hated them. There's nothing wrong with killing others in order to live, is there, Shiki-kun? What? That's absurd. Killing is wrong. No, it's not. But I did do one bad thing. Since today was my first time drinking blood, I let a little of my blood get back into them. Because of that, you got attacked, Shiki-kun. I'm sorry for getting you involved, but we're lucky. It died without being able to finish changing.
What are you talking about, Yumizuka?
It's okay if you don't understand right now. I don't really understand myself yet, so I can't explain it very well. But I think after a few days, I can become like Shiki-kun. Like Shiki-kun. Become a great...
As she says so, her face distorts in pain. Rasps of agony echo from her throat. Yumizuka chokes up blood.
It hurts. I guess, even if I'm hungry, I shouldn't just drink blood at random. If it's not good quality, beautiful blood, it won't agree with me.
She breaks out in a fit of coughing. She chokes out blood with every cough. Yumizuka's body convulses. I don't really understand. All I know is Yumizuka is in terrible pain. It's all I can clearly understand. Hey! Are you okay, Yumizuka? I run toward her to take her hand.
No! Don't come any closer, Shiki-kun.
But Yumizuka's voice stops me.
You mustn't... I'm not entirely okay, Shiki-kun.
She speaks painfully, still vomiting red blood. Yumizuka, you... I don't understand why Yumizuka's in pain, or why she's like this. What the hell's going on? You said you killed those people, but it's a lie, right, Yumizuka? If you're in that much pain, shouldn't you be in a hospital? I'm fooling myself. Even though I understand Yumizuka brought about this tragic scene, I still lie to myself. Yumizuka, I'm coming over there, okay? I speak gently, but Yumizuka shakes her head in violent refusal. Why? If you're in pain, we have to get you to a hospital right away.
Shiki-kun, you're not getting it. You really never understand anything.
Idiot. I told you before I don't understand.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? But you're still here.
Yumizuka begins to pull away.
It hurts, Shiki-kun.
She breathes raggedly, coughing up red blood.
It hurts. It's cold. I'm scared. I really want your help right now, Shiki-kun.
But it's too early. Saying that, Yumizuka straightens up again.
Wait for me, okay? I'll go become a great vampire. Then I'll come back and see you.
Wait! Yumizuka! Yumizuka's gone. Even as I start to run, Yumizuka is long gone. Her speed is inhuman, like that of a wild beast. Yumizuka, you... What happened to you? Really? Gah! My injured shoulder throbs. When I look back, the open space where all the limbs were scattered, only left red blood. The faces, the organs, the hands and feet. They all turned to ashes, like the skull did before. Shit! Angrily, I strike the wall. What the hell is going on? I bellow pointlessly, and the alley echoes my voice. The next thing I know, I'm at the gates of the mansion. The wound on my shoulder aches. The lights of the mansion are dark. Somehow, I hadn't realized I'd be coming back so late. Akiha will surely be angry with me, I think, as I put my hands on the heavy doors. The lobby is empty.
So, what should I do?
Oh, excuse me.
Even though my wounds need treating, Kohaku-san is probably asleep. Nissan? Akiha? I look up in the direction of the voice. Akiha is standing on the stairs. It is you, coming back so late at night. Just what do you think? Akiha reaches the bottom of the stairs, and her rebuke stops. Nissan, where did you hurt your shoulder? Damn it. I had wanted to hide the wound, but it's too late now. No, this is... Never mind. Hold still. Is it only your shoulder? Yes, but how do you know? I can tell with all that blood on your clothes. I'll hear about it later, but right now we'll treat it. Please forgive me, Nissan. Saying so, Akiha touches my shoulder. My body jumps at only the slight touch of Akiha's finger. It appears that the wound is deeper than I thought. I'm sorry. Did it hurt, Nissan? No, I'd like to say I'm okay, but I guess I'm not. Even a touch is really painful. I see. If it's this deep, I think it's too much for Kohaku. I'll treat it, so please go into the sitting room. Akiha walks upstairs. Phew. I turn...
Oh, damn it.
I turn on the sitting room lights and sit on the sofa. The wound on my shoulder hurts and begins to become unbearable. Sorry for making you wait. I'll treat the wound, so please relax. Akiha comes in holding a first aid kit. I don't think that would really help on this wound, but I guess I should at least get it disinfected. Akiha moves behind me and begins to treat the wound. The uniform, damp with blood, is cut away with scissors, and the wound is exposed and disinfected. Gah! I clench my fists as the pain flashes through my body. But after that, the ache of the wound starts to fade. Akiha must be skilled at medical care, or perhaps the wound wasn't so bad to begin with. After a few minutes, the pain completely goes away. All right, we're done. I expect a wound like that should be healed by the morning. Akiha packs away the first aid kit. Somehow, I'm a bit surprised. I would have expected Akiha to ask where I got injured, and to rebuke me for playing outside so late. You haven't asked, Akiha. I haven't asked about what? Well, you know, why I'm back so late. Why I'm hurt. I blurted out like a complaint. After what happened with Yumizuka, I'm exhausted. And because I'm tired, I said such a thing. Nissan, I think I know the right order for things. Right now, the priority is to tend to your injury. I see. Of course, I see. Oh, what kind of person did you think I was, Nissan? I'm not about to yell at someone who's hurt. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. But even though you treated it... You're going to say you can't explain the situation, right? I don't want to listen to your excuses, but today is special. If you do not wish to talk about it, I won't inquire either. Is that okay? I came back so late at night. Certainly I am curious about what might have happened to you. But I trust you, and I have enough trust to believe you weren't doing something too dangerous. And I can't force someone to talk when they look like that. Akiha looks away shyly. Look like that. Is my expression that bad right now? I'll listen when you've recovered, Nissan. If you rest overnight, your health should improve. Feeling awkward, I look away from Akiha. I'm glad she won't listen to me until I'm better, but I feel like I won't be able to talk about it even in the morning. In the end, I can't tell Akiha anything. I feel too guilty to even look at her face. Akiha, Oh, please, don't keep making that face. I told you, I'll make an exception today, so go back to your room and rest, alright? I bet it's something you can't talk to me about anyway. Having read my expression perfectly, Akiha turns and goes out of the lobby. Out to the lobby. I can only sit on the sofa and watch her leave. Suddenly I wonder, was Akiha waiting for my return? Is that how she appeared in the lobby so quickly? Akiha. What is it, Nissan? Thank you for treating me. Thank you for treating me. I'm sorry for making you worry. Suddenly, Akiha stops walking. And when she turns away... I wasn't worried about you, Nissan. If you've that much energy for flattery, you should concentrate on taking care of yourself. With a crash, she slams the door behind her. I really don't understand her, but I do understand that she was worried about me. Seems like I wasn't doing something too dangerous, huh? Akiha seems to believe me since she said that. But really, it was a frighteningly dangerous scene. The bodies scattered in the back alley. The figure of Yumizuka, her hands stained red with blood. A chill runs through me, just at that memory. I stand up, taking care of my wound, and return to my room. I change clothes and fall onto the bed, but if I close my eyes, I'll see the scene in the back alley. I killed all those people. Yumizuka said so, as if it was nothing. I needed their blood. So she killed them, just like a vampire. Like a bad joke. Wait, okay? I'll go become a great vampire. I don't remember. What did Yumizuka say at the end? Sleepiness fills my body. With Yumizuka's face still etched in my mind, I close my eyes slowly. Only one thing is clear, that Yumizuka told the truth, and that she really did slaughter all those people. But even then, instead of fearing everything that happened, I'm more concerned about the one thing she said. It hurts. It really hurts, Tohno-kun. There's something wrong with me. Yumizuka is really a murderer, but those words will not leave my mind. Okay. So.
Excuse me.
You're really tired. I couldn't sleep last night and tried to get up early for this and failed, so ugh. Alright, so we're gonna stop for today. Sorry for it being a short one, but I have work, so. And I'm not entirely sure how things are gonna play out moving forward throughout December, because holiday season, everybody and everything is going to be super freaking chaotic. Everybody's buying gifts, everybody's working extra hours, you know, everybody's doing everything, so. And everybody's going out to see their families, obviously. So I don't know what my schedule's going to look like. I don't know if I'm going to have time to stream much in December. I do know that, what's today, Wednesday? I don't know about Friday, because I don't know what we're going to be doing exactly. But Monday, I will be streaming. And I'll probably stream Wednesday as well. Of next week, rather. But after that, I don't know when the next episode will be released. So the Akiha route will come out a little slower. I'm thinking of putting together a little something for my YouTube subscribers for the holiday. Since I can't really stream, I can at least like record and edit something. But yeah. So thoughts so far. Definitely very interesting. It seems like this next chapter is called Inversion Impulse, which is something that we learned about in the previous routes toward the very end. So it looks like it's going to start dealing with that a lot earlier. If I remember correctly, Inversion Impulse was something that happens to members of the Tohno family where their blood is different, and if they can't handle it, they go insane. And that's what happened to Shiki Tohno. Not Tohno Shiki, but the other Tohno Shiki. The original, I guess. And it kind of seems like maybe Akia has to struggle with it as well, because she has like a weird sprite and was kind of walking around like a zombie. So that's interesting. And then of course, we finally found out what happened to Yumizuka. Oh my god, she's a fucking vampire. Uh-oh, she's out here killing people. That's no good. That's no bueno. So now we have a new villain, quote unquote. So yeah, things are gonna get crazy now. I'm excited. So yeah, I will be back on Monday. In the meantime, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family if you can. I'm thankful for anybody that ever even just watches any of my stuff. If you subscribe, I'm super thankful. If you follow me on Twitch, I'm super thankful. If you come into the chat and say hi, I'm super thankful. Eddie Dongerno Pastorino, thank you for coming into the chat. I always appreciate people coming in and reacting to stuff and giving me hints about things. I always appreciate that. I'm thankful for anybody who likes and retweets my stuff on Twitter. I'm thankful for other things too, obviously. I'm just kind of like tying in my usual spiel to Thanksgiving. But yeah, this has been a pretty fulfilling project, and I'm eager to continue moving forward with this and other visual novels as time moves on. So thank you for stopping by. If you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far. And we will be back on Monday with more Tsukihime.